YouTube? I got a story to tell. I'm gonna make it quick. I'm also going to include the news article on the guy at the end of the video. So y'all hit that like and subscribe button and share this shit everywhere. I need some more support, y'all. I'm making more content, trying to keep my few subscribers entertained. So this story comes from 2015 when I was in Catawba County Jail. I had been in there for about a month and had got sent to segregation, or the hole, for I think I was in there for 14 days for contraband. I had got caught with I want to say it was the spoons that we got caught with, or it was the Seroquel. I can't remember because I got sent there twice and I can't remember which one it was. This was back when they were really strict. And if you got caught with an extra state spork in your room, or got caught with one of their sporks, you got sent to segregation. And I got sent there twice, once for having Seroquel, having medication that wasn't mine, and the sporks that they found in there. So coming back from segregation, I got stuck in a different cell, obviously. My old one wasn't open anymore. And when they put me in there, the rec block was already over. So I had to be in there for 24 hours before the next rec came. Because the recs are, they alternate. You know, they're 4-hour rec blocks. 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., and 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. Or 10 p.m. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then once you're on the 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., the next day you go to 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So you're only down for 8 hours on that day, but the rest of the days you're down for a whole 24 hours before you come back out. So I was in there with this guy and didn't speak to him once. He was asleep the whole time. They had already done the pack outs for supper, for dinner, the little dinner pack outs, which is 4 pieces of bread, 2 pieces of bologna, 2 pieces of cheese, tiny piece of cake, and one of the nastiest drink mixes you will ever have, and the little child snack packs of chips, wrapped up in cellophane that you can hold in your hand like this. You know, and that's supposed to tide you over from 5 p.m. till about 7 a.m. So, you know, it's jail. It happens. Back to the story though. My cellmate's name was Ricky Payne. I did not know at the time when I first got in there, but I had heard about the story a couple years before that. He had been in there for a while, but he had killed his girlfriend in a Motel 6, strangled her, and then stuck her under a mattress. There were obviously drugs involved, but I did not know that this was the dude until the next day at rec. I come out and there were people that I had talked to before I got sent to segregation, that I had kind of made friends with, and I was walking laps with them, playing spades, and they're like, so how's Ricky? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, is he talking to you at all? And I'm like, dude, the guy slept for 24 hours pretty much. He's like, yo, yeah, he's on Thorazine. So, he's not going to get up. And he would get up for maybe an hour during rec, depending upon which rec block we were on, what hours we came out, and just walk laps around the block. Maybe about 5 or 6 laps. He would be doing the Thorazine shuffle the whole time, and just go lay back down. He might drink a cup of coffee or something. But, this dude, like I said, never talked to me, man. And I was in the room with him for like 2 weeks, and we might have had maybe 5 conversations in those 2 weeks, man. But what I was getting at was, the first time I went out to rec was whenever I was told who he was and what he had done, or what he was in there for. I was like, damn, I remember hearing about that on the radio and seeing it on the news and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn, they got me in the room with this dude. I'm in here for drug possessions and driving while impaired and shit like that. And they got me in there with a fucking killer. I was like, damn, this jail's fucking ratchet. But sooner I found out that's just how that jail works. They won't put you in the block with a child molester, but they'll put you in there with a killer. Luckily they have their own block for child molesters, but it makes you think twice. Who you're in the room with, who you're really in the room with, and even if they're not in there for something serious, they're still capable of it. And that's the way I had to look at it, man. Is everybody's capable of doing something to somebody. The one good thing that came from being in the room with Ricky was he wouldn't eat half the trays, and he would give them to me. So I got extra trays from being in there, but it was almost like a payment for having to put up with hearing snoring 24 hours straight, man. I couldn't wait to get out of that room when Rhett came, man, because it was just like he was constantly running a freaking chainsaw on that jank. So, he was it sucked, man. I'm gonna say that much because I'm not a complete social butterfly, but you want somebody to talk to every once in a while. So finally, I waited until a good shift came on, the night shift. There was usually a cool person that would come work on the block every once in a while, and once he came on, I went to him and asked him if I could switch cells. Told him, I was like, dude, this dude just sleeps all the time, and I'm about to go crazy in here. And I knew a guy across the way that had an open bunk in his room, and a couple hours later they called me and told me that I could switch rooms, and they popped the doors. And so I went in the room with my homeboy, and that was the end of my stint in the room with a killer. Like I said, I really didn't get to know the guy. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever I was first told who he was, I was kind of skeptical, but I knew it was what it was, man. They told me that all he does is sleep, and even if he wasn't asleep, he really wouldn't talk to you about anything, because when you first got there, they were trying to put all kinds of snitches in there. They were trying to get him to make statements about his case. And he just got tired of it and didn't trust nobody. He thought everybody that was coming in there was going to be somebody that the state was putting in there trying to get him to talk about his case. Which I can understand that completely. But I'm going to include a video recording of the news articles on this, and just to show y'all kind of the case and what was going on. But yeah, what the times I did talk to him and him giving me his trades and stuff, he was a cool dude. If he didn't snore, if he talked a little bit more, I would have stayed in the room with him, man. But other than that, man, that is my first cellmate story. I really don't have that many interesting cellmate stories because I just don't. That was probably the most interesting one, because everyone else I've been in the room with has just been in there for mostly the same stuff I have, or stuff that's really not that major that's gonna catch you that much time. In my opinion, I think they should have all people like that should have to stay together. But that's not how the jails work when I've been in there. They don't even have a classification. You go straight from booking to housing, and you could be arrested at 7 p.m. and be in your permanent housing by 11 p.m. So they don't do any kind of classification in that jail. But it is what it is. If you don't, it's like they say, if you don't like it, make bond. If you don't like it, don't come. So I guess it makes sense. If you don't want to be in the room with the killer, don't commit no crimes in Catawba County. But yeah. So yeah, here's the news articles, y'all.